Until the 1st of February, I'm excited to be partnering with HelloFresh UK. Get money off fresh meal kits delivered to your door by using the discount link or the checkout code in the description below. Get 50% off your first box and 35% off the following 3, as well as 3 free gifts. If you want to see more from HelloFresh UK, then check out my social medias where I've been sharing my meals the last few weeks. And what's best, if you sign up, you help support the channel and you can cancel at any time. We're back for transfer deadline day in the January window at Ipswich here. We're relying on our director of football for another good window. But to be fair, on the pitch, there is some variation at last. I can confirm now, we haven't drawn every single game. So hopefully that's going to give us a bit more excitement. But the rest of it for the window is up to Gary Probert. Over to you. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 56 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today for transfer deadline day in January and a big test away at Watford, who are up in promotion contention. But crucially, before we face Jesse Marsh's side, we have managed to pick up some wins and defeats since the last episode. Yes, the run of draws was ridiculous and we have still been drawing some games 0-0. But most importantly, we are picking up the odd win. And as a result of that, we are now 15 points clear of the relegation zone, 12 points off the playoffs. We are virtually the perfect mid-table club, which for our first year in the Championship, with a side that finished 21st last year, I am absolutely thrilled about. We have got some problems today though. Paul Ferdinand doubtful due to injury, Brandon Cooper out as well. And it's been a bizarre January transfer window. So if you're looking forward to us reflecting on that, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But let's go and head straight over to the transfers and then the schedule to see what's been going on. So first things first, and it's actually in the transfer centre, which is we might well have a change of goalkeeper. We've had 2 offers accepted for Daniel Grimshaw this January, and one, as you can see there, rejected. Thankfully, Grimshaw rejected the move away, so at the moment he is still with us. The person that's obviously, as you can see, been looked at as the replacement is Joe Woolacott. Ghanaian international, is an okay keeper. He is not the standard of Grimshaw and he is not Championship standard. So if we do end up losing him on deadline day, I am very worried for the rest of the season. If we go and have a look at the month so far though, it's been a little bit odd. We've lost a few star players, or I should say squad players, that have been important at times. We've also bought into one of them at senior level, and it's a name you might recognise, but it's a 33-year-old, which I find a little bit weird. So let's start with the outs. A couple of loanees. Sam Jones went off. He is a young left back who's all right. We also lost Sean Evans, who again wasn't in the first team squad. But then Kylan Bohia was doing well for us. He goes out on loan. But Mark Hitchin, who went to Sutton at the start of the year, has come back. So pretty much like for like there. But Bohia did give us that bit of depth at right back off the bench, a little bit more versatility. Hitchin is just literally a right winger and nothing else. The other 2 that have gone out are both to Forest Green. We've basically given them a new midfield. Daniel Adsheed went for £19,000. He is average. He barely kicked a ball for us. But he's doing okay for them there. He's a fringe player at their level. And then Tim Akinola gone out on loan. Bit of an odd one this, not on the biggest wage, but he did want to get regular football. It's not something we were able to offer to him, but he was all right. So a little bit frustrated that we're losing depth, but I won't mind if we get someone on deadline day. In terms of the ins, just 2 players that have joined the club so far. Sean Bysouth is a young player from St Mirren. He came in for about 50 grand as a 20-year-old left back. Very versatile, good personality, he's very driven, he's good, he's fit, he's only 5'7", which is a slight issue, 2-star ability, solid for the under-21s, and maybe will be someone to step up later down the line. And I was looking at him and thinking, well, maybe he can do a job for us actually, because Mola was doing it as a makeshift backup left back. We didn't really have someone that suited that role. But then Harry Toffolo came along, a name that you'll know from Huddersfield in real life and now Nottingham Forest in the Premier League, has since played for QPR and Bristol City here. He's good. He's a solid player. He's good across the board. He's still 3-star ability, but he's 33. It's a 2.5-year deal, which I find a little bit odd for someone of this age, but not the biggest wage. He's okay. I'm just a little worried that you can see from his physical stats already. Yes, he's fit. Yes, he's got good stamina, but the rest of it is dwindling a bit. His pace is easing off slightly, his strength the same, his agility the same, and he's going to be here 2.5 years. I'm not sure he gets any better. Has played one game off the bench for us, and for the rest of this season at least, will be a valuable member of the squad. But I am a little worried about that as a long-term signing. I guess very similar to what I had with Frankie Kent last summer. The difference here with Toffolo though, he was only 120 grand, so maybe as a stopgap it's fine, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to get him off the wage bill easily. That's an issue for later down the line though. If we have a look at the finances at the moment, it's alright. The wage bill, it's basically maxed out. The transfer budget's been used. We've not got much left. But the club situation is secure. We're trying to get other stuff done. We're trying to get a coaching badge. We're trying to get some of the facilities upgraded. I want to make this club bigger in the longer term. But let's go and have a look at the schedule and what that's done for our fixtures in the recent months and weeks. Because you were with me for that ridiculous run of draws. We then lost a game against West Brom and drew against Middlesbrough on camera. Since then, just the 1-0 and just the 2 draws. And a few crucial wins as well. So the first game off camera, a magnificent, ruthless 3-0 win against Derby. We didn't have tons of chances, but we did all right. Grimshaw, as you can see, got man of the match. And it does come down to something we mentioned before. When we've got Paul Ferdinand playing and in form, we look a very different side. In this game, he got the assist for all 3 goals, was man of the match in spite of not scoring. Hurst got 2, Sykes got 1. We look really good on the counter. Against Luton Town, Raheem Harper scored the winner. Guess who set it up? Paul Ferdinand did the job. Again defended really well, got the job done. Another win. Crucial prior to the festive fixtures. We backed it up with another 0-0 at home to West Brom, so a really good month there. And then we just ran out of steam against Palace. A 3-0 defeat on the road. 2 goals in the last 15. A lot of fatigue legs. We weren't ever going to get a result there. This month it's been alright. A really famous 3-1 win against Leeds. It looks like they played their first team in the 30th of December match, whereas we rotated a bit against Palace and it really worked out for us. We did have a few backup players start the Leeds game, but here got a goal as you can see. The likes of Tripp, Mola and Brandon Cooper came in too. Adeniran and Shaquille added the other 2 goals. Really good win. We backed it up with a smash and grab at Sunderland in the FA Cup. We got completely outclassed. Again, the centre-halves and keeper were brilliant. George Hurst got an early winner. A 1-1 draw at Millwall to keep the little unbeaten run going. Paul Ferdinand scored the opener. Shane Lavery with a cracking equaliser off the underside of the bar. A 2-1 win against Wigan. Josh Wilson, Esbrand helping us with a red card at 1-0. We still nearly let them back into the game though. Sykes and Edmondson with the goals either end of the first half. And then a disappointing 1-0 defeat to Reading in the week. Connor Ronan got the goal, someone I'm sure we've managed in a head coach before, and just no attacking quality. Paul Ferdinand out injured, it showed, but Hitchin came on off the bench, Toffolo made his debut, it wasn't all negative. Even Ben Woodmer made his comeback from injury. I should just mention as well the Wigan game. The reason we didn't make any subs, I'll be completely honest, a takeaway turned up and I got distracted. But let's move on to the Watford game. We've got a week off after. We then play the bottom side in League One in the FA Cup 4th round. Maybe that's somewhere we can take advantage and get some money this season. But let's go and get into Watford. It is a big game away to one of the top sides in the league. It gives us a chance to play on the counter. It gives us an excuse to be a bit more defensive. They've got Daniele Verde, always a great FM player. Harry Wilson is high quality as we know. So let's go and see the team we can pick. There's a few players injured. There's a few players fatigued. But I'll go and find the best 11. And we'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, here we go then. Paul Ferdinand, I'm afraid, is nowhere near fit. Hurst struggling as well. And Woodburn just coming back from injury. Essentially a whole front three, not at full fitness or available. A bit worried about the Grimshaw situation. His head may be being turned. Although, to be fair, he did reject the move to the MLS. And then Jack Bonham, the backup keeper, declining heavily. And he wants to retire end of the year. So we could be in a real pickle if that goes wrong. And it has happened before in this series. Not this year, but back in FM22. I think we had the same situation with Sheffield Wednesday. We do not want to be left without a senior keeper, albeit there's an okay one in the under-21s. But the rest of the team virtually picks itself. We're going to have to be careful to adjust roles, so Shaquille will become an advanced forward. Sykes has switched to the right. Woodburn can only really do 45 to 60 minutes. But the team we've picked for today, the back five is at full strength. A bit worried about Wolfenden, but with Cooper injured, I've got no real choice other than the youngster Samuels. So that means our 11 for today is Grimshaw in goal, Swanson and Davis the fullbacks, with Edmondson and Wolfenden as centre-half. We've got Kent, Mauer and Harper at the midfield 3, Woodburn, Sykes and Shaquille the front 3. Hurst is on the bench despite being a bit tired, mostly defensive options aside from that, and Toffolo might make his second appearance. Let's go and get into the big game at Watford. Deadline day is without doubt the star attraction today, but if we can nick a 0-0 in this one, it would be another big point towards our goals. Let's go and see if we can do it. 4 changes for Watford and Jesse Marsh, who has got them in promotion contention. In addition to the ones we mentioned earlier, they have got Nathan Phillips at centre-half. They've also got a lot of names on the bench, Oral Mangala being the star amongst them. So there are some big players here at Watford. Again, the wage bill is probably humongous. Again, they're a side expected to be up there. They're slightly better in the form table than us, but come on. Give us a little bit of leeway. We're doing as expected. If we're 14th in the league table from now to the rest of the season, I have no complaints about that at all. Let's try and keep the form up. Let's try and frustrate Watford. You've seen it before this season, and I will apologise for it again. We're not going to be playing fluffy, exciting, entertaining football. This is about frustrating bigger name opponents, building this side up. Then we can look to progress to the next level. I'm looking at Arteta at Arsenal, trying to sneak some 1-0s and 0-0s on the road. And then the next year you can start to build in the attacking talent. Hopefully the director of football's on board with that. Watford have had no shots on target. And with nearly half the game gone, no highlights, we've done exactly the same again. This is what our side is good at. And I know it's not entertaining, but is exactly what we've got to take advantage of. We're doing what Mick McCarthy did with Ipswich, keeping them up, keeping them less than entertaining, but making sure we're efficient as the ball comes in and right on cue we let in a goal. First of the season for Matthew Lamey is a header not quite cleared off the line, but to be fair, Watford are one of the best sides in the league. I've no complaints at that. What is a bit of a concern to me is that we've been very good defending from open play this year, but we have let in a few silly ones from set pieces, and again we've done an awful lot of work on it. As Lyon's shot goes over the bar, Watford have started this half well. We'll get to the hour mark, Woodburn will have to come off, and we'll think about other changes to rest people too. Well, I was about to make the changes, but we have got another highlight as Grimshaw chesting it outside the area. He finds Wolfenden at the back, who chips forward. Shaquille is playing as the advance forward, but not had much success. Sykes plays him in this time, though. Would be a great time to score. Straight at the goalkeeper. I have never seen a player with that much finishing ability and perfect attributes in all of that role. Missed so many chances, honestly. Let's go and make the changes. We'll come back in a minute after them. But Woodburn, Sykes probably got to come off. And then we'll just rotate a bit. Wolfenden been awful again. We're not going to go for it too early because when we've done that, we have let in late goals. We saw it against Palace. We saw it against West Brom on camera. We've seen it in other games too. So with 5 or so minutes to go, we'll encourage. We'll push up now and we'll try and chase the game. Are we going to get anything? Probably not is the answer. But we have got a free kick in a dangerous area. Leif Davis to take it. Left-footed. Not the best angle for a cross, but he finds one. Jamal heads away as far as Samuel's the sub. He goes back to Adeniran. Just not got that depth on the bench that other sides have. Adeniran shot straight at the goalkeeper. Very easy to deal with. Comfortable for Watford. And I think they're going to win, although we are creating more. Davis gives it to Hurst. Big ball in. He would have loved to be on the end of it, but who cares at the minute? Mark Hitchin in the 94th minute. And you know what? I might have been frustrated at a run of draws last episode, even bemused by it. I am delighted with a point in this one. Great ball in from George Hurst. He knows exactly what a target man would want in the box. What I didn't expect was to see Mark Hitchin on the end of it. Against 4th place Watford, we nick a last minute draw. How tall is he at the back post? I've got to find out. Mark Hitchin is 5'11". He's not the worst in the air. But to be fair, it wasn't what I expected. Great to see him score his first goal since coming back from his loan. And now we've got something to be positive about. Another point towards the Magic 50 and transfer deadline day around the corner. Let's go and see what Gary Probert's got in store. He's got Nigel Pearson in his scouting team. He's brought another new one in who's not that great. But we've got to hope we get a miracle. Can we get that left winger? Can we get a bit of stardust? There's only one way to find out. On to deadline day we go. Well, it's not transfer deadline day yet, but Joe Woolacott is into the club for 42.5 grand. Rather worryingly, he is actually rated as well as Grimshaw near enough. So maybe we'll step up if Grimshaw leaves, and we certainly will make a profit because the offers for Grimshaw are 7 figures. but to be fair, he is okay. If the worst happens, we've got a solid one. And given that, as I mentioned last year, we had a club where we were left with no senior goalkeeper, I don't think we can complain. Not a problem. Edmondson will welcome him to the club. We also have Callum Bates returning from his loan, and although he's not a great footballer, if I can go and find him wherever he is, he's probably ineligible for the cup tie. He is an option on the left-hand side. 2-star ability, he's not the best, but just in case we need one, again, there's another squad player there. Let's get ahead to deadline day. I think it will be quiet. It's just whether someone big leaves the club rather than anything coming in. Well, again, we're back one day earlier, but we've got a loan news item, and it is Brighton's Archie Buck, a centre midfielder, which we could do with, in fairness. He is 21 years of age. He's a finalist in the FA Youth Cup many years ago. And to be fair, Buck is said to be disappointed with Brighton's decision to make him available for loan. He's worth 17.5 million. He's on nearly 10 grand a week. He's got to be a good player at least, hasn't he? Let's go and have a look at him. Gary Probert, 3-star ability, 5-star potential. He is rock solid. Fairly determined personality. Can play box-to-box Mazzala. Has also got a bit of attacking quality as well. Good on the ball. Good determination and a decent engine. That would be a very good signing. With Akinola going out on loan, with Tripp a little bit unhappy at the minute, I think this one is a really good deal. So let's see if it gets over the line. Still no left winger though, and that is a problem. No wage contributions, great though. Here we go then, transfer deadline day at Ipswich. It proved to be a very good day back in the summer for a director of football. There are a few problems though, in addition to what might be coming in and out. The director of football is trying to sign this youngster too, not really worth a mention from Carshalton, and some players potentially leaving. Looking at Bates out permanently, Karen Samuels on loan again, so we're going to take part in the day. I just want to show you though a registration issue, because Joe Miley has just come back from his loan. He is 22 years of age, so has to be registered. And that means we have 25 over 21s registered now. So if we don't let somebody leave the club, there is no one that can come in and be registered. So I'm a little bit interested in that. I think Buck qualifies as an under 21, so he won't matter. But if anything else wants to come in, the director of football is going to have to get busier on the other side. 15 hours of deadline day to go. Let's see what he's got in store. 10 hours to go, and I can see 2 signings at the top of the screen. Stanislas Makuna, who comes in from Carshalton. He's gone back on loan the rest of the year. I really don't get that deal. Seems to have decent potential, but he's miles off it at 19. And then the second one is a bit better. Archie Buck, no wage contribution, 4 grand a month as a playing fee. I mean, that's pretty incredible. Only 2.5 star according to the assistant, but big potential. Does he need to be registered? That's the big question. Yes, he does. Right, we've got a problem, because somebody here is going to have to be left out the squad. Now, I could drop Bonham as the 3rd goalkeeper because he might well be going out anyway. Or alternatively, I drop one of the attacking players who's come back from a loan, like a Bates or a Miley. Now, Miley is wanted and might go out on loan again today. But for now, I'm going to take out the 3rd goalkeeper. With Willockett coming in, Bonham drops out. And instead of him, we will put in Archie Buck. Given this situation, I can't see much more coming in. But hopefully 1 or 2 go out of the club. And then maybe a gem is added, because there's still no left winger. We are back in the same hour, and I am looking tentatively at that top message on the screen. Firstly, Wickham want Miley on loan. That's absolutely fine. They've accepted it. It's 100% of his wages. That's great. And it does free up a spot in the squad. I don't really want to free up 2 though. Southampton have made an offer for Grimshaw, and this is the first time. It's not an MLS club. It's not a move to a so-called inferior league. This is a Premier League club, I believe. Are they Southampton? 15th in the Premier Division. Please don't accept it. It is rejected. 1.4 million. I think the others that were accepted were like 1.5 rising to 2. But he does want to go to those clubs. And I'm sure at some point an offer will get accepted. With 10 hours to go, there's more time for desperation yet. And if the offers get bigger, I've got a feeling Gary Probert will buckle. Let's go and see if he does. Well, just 1 hour to go on deadline day, and it looks like it's going to be a very quiet finish. We've had 1 loan offer rejected for John Dunn. They're not happy with the wage contribution there, and he is becoming someone I've got to consider, by the way. Just looking at him at first team level, maybe not far away from breaking in. Maybe Archie Buck on loan does ruin that a tad. And then further down, we did see Miley go out on loan. That was accepted from Wickham. We knew it was going to happen. He's gone over the line. But crucially, no further offers for Grimshaw, no one else leaving the club. So if it stays like this in an hour's time, I'm confident we stay up comfortably. And that, again, is the main objective this year. Not inspiring, not exciting, but job done. Let's hope that the director of football feels the same. Well, clearly he did, because nothing happens in the last hour of deadline day. But in terms of the window, Harry Toffolo joins for 120 grand, Joe Woolacott, a bit of experience as a keeper, 42,000, and Archie Buck, a young midfielder on loan. In terms of outs, it's Bahia, it's Adsheed, it's Miley, Akinola went on loan as well. But overall, we're not any weaker. We've not really strengthened, to be honest. The left wing is still a problem. If we keep Ben Woodburn fit, we might get away with it. If not, perhaps we might be in a bit of trouble. The wage expenditure is 19th in the championship, so I just want to aim to be above that, to be honest. We can get up in that 14th, 15th region, and it's a really good season for us. Don't forget, this is the second year back up for Ipswich. They finished 21st last time around. Hang on a minute. Leeds are in the championship, and they have just spent £31 million on Moise Keane. That is ridiculous. How on earth are we supposed to compete with them? As you can see, Premier League promotion might be a long way away, but let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. Following another draw, we've got hopefully a friendlier FA Cup tie, then we face bottom side Birmingham and have a better run of fixtures on paper. But we are going to come back about halfway between now and the end. I'm looking at that run of sort of Coventry, Norwich, Swansea in the middle. I know that Norwich are up there, Swansea are up there as well. So I think that's the two we're going to show. We'll be back in mid-March, then the final two games of the season, one of those against my beloved Luton Town. So it is a perfect end. If you're looking forward to it and you did enjoy that January transfer window, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of the late draw against Watford. Another good result, another solid display. And to be fair, bar the odd game with fatigued, we are not letting in many goals. If you want to stay up to date and see how we finish the season, can we make a late dash for the playoffs or down the table, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back with this one in a couple of days' time. Hopefully a solid season wraps up by then. In the meantime, we'll be back with our Build a Nation tomorrow. You can find that playlist in the eye above. Do check out up there as well the Twitch channel, football podcast, and the sponsor HelloFresh. It does make a big difference to the channel and gets you a big discount too. But above my head now, if all has gone to plan, I will put some clips of yesterday's League 2 title decider in real life. That was Stevenage v Leyton Orient, which I'm planning to be at. Hopefully you enjoy those, and I'll see you back here next time.